over to David Frankel, because we just heard how the Hemp Industries Association was involved in a successful lawsuit that stopped the drug war from impinging upon hemp foods. There have only been 3 real victories like that. Timothy Leary, when he overturned the Marijuana Tax Act, which then led to the Controlled Substances Act. Conant versus McCaffrey, in which doctors' right to recommend medical marijuana was affirmed, and HIA versus DEA, in which the right to use hemp seed as food was involved. And David was not only on the board of the HIA when we voted to do that, but in fact he was one of the lead attorneys. David Frankel, everybody. Big hand.
Thank you. I had no idea that our case is considered in the top 3. But that's only if you don't consider, I guess, the Rage case and some of those, because they're coming through.
I was talking about successful cases.
Well, yeah, we did take a few victories off the DEA. It was good to do that. It was actually one of the best things that ever happened to the hemp industry as a group of people working together was the preemptive attack by the Bush administration in October of 2001. It was just around the same time that America started bombing Afghanistan. We were in Maui enjoying the Hemp Industry Association meeting, and we had this really intense board meeting where we had to decide whether or not to respond to this preemptive attack with a full-on frontal legal attack on the DEA in the United States of America, and we did. We voted unanimously to do that. Several people on the board volunteered to be plaintiffs. We assembled a great group of plaintiffs, a great attorney team, a great team of backers, particularly including Bronner's Soaps, and also Woody was in on that. He stepped forward with and Woody Harrelson, that is, and wow. We had to duke it out hardcore, and it cost the industry backers about $50,000, which was kind of a bummer. But we got some incredible case law. We educated the Ninth Circuit. We found a little-known provision that says you can just go ahead and file at the Ninth Circuit, and you can file at any circuit court. And they had just been going over the medical marijuana cases, and we said, well, then let's go to San Francisco, because that's a place where people understand the difference between marijuana or generally and medical marijuana. They must understand the difference between that and hemp. And they did. Even the most conservative judge, Judge Kaczynski, grilled the DEA lawyer, made him squirm. I mean, this is a time of extreme pleasure for those of us who work, representing cannabis and usually don't have such a, enjoyable experience in the courtroom. And what it did was it forged some serious alliances that have been going to this day. Alliances that are represented by VoteHemp.com, represented by Adam being here, because it was clear how important it is to have an effective media person, media expert on your team. So we had legal, we had research and fundraising, we have media, and we developed some opportunities, little border stops, little clashes with the board of directors of Whole Foods. I always give a proud shout out to Trader Joe's. At the time, Whole Foods said, we're scared, we don't want to pull him, we're going to pull the foods off the shelves. You guys know how hard it is to get your food into, any product into Whole Foods? It's insane, right? To get Nativa products or some of these other products in, it takes a lot of energy. Then have them pulled, some other product scoops up the shelf space, you get back in and they say, well, gee, we'll get back to you when we find some more shelf space for your product. It's really tough going at that retail level. Well, first of all, Trader Joe's said, it's a great selling product. We're not taking it off our shelves unless somebody orders us to. And of course, they're not going to do that. Then Joe Sandler, who was the lawyer in Washington, D.C., he took the lead on arguing all this stuff and presenting a very non-hippie looking public appearance as our lead attorney. And he also represented a guy named Al Gore in the Democratic National Committee and dealing with the Supreme Court cases, Bush v. Gore. But he helped us out a lot, and he wrote letters, and he got Whole Foods not to take food off the shelves, and then press release went out. So it was victory, press release, victory, press release, victory, press release, and now hemp food is still the fastest growing segment. And I just want to close by saying, Chris's book, Lifeline to the Future, Jack's book, Hemp Wears No Clothes, everything in those books is true, okay? It's worth reading them, even though they're 15 years old. They're as valid now as they were then. And, you know, one last thing is to say that, you know, Jack, you know, gave us some really good information there. I've, over the years, been on panels where Jack says something that sounds outlandish and it turns out to be true. So I just urge you to look into those websites. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And thanks for all your great work fighting on behalf of hemp around the world. One thing I should mention, though, Jack Herer had a stroke several years ago, and so you notice his speech is rather halting. I only wish you could have seen. But Steve Levine was the long-term president of the Hemp Industries Association. He owned the Santa Barbara Hemp Company and was responsible for bringing a lot of hemp products in, and he also having a Hempfest in Santa Barbara. And now he works with Vote Hemp and also with David Bronner. And so, as we mentioned, that the success of the oil products is not just food products, but other oil products. So let's hear it, Steve. Why don't you fill us in? Steve Levine, everybody, a big hand.
Thanks, Chris. You forgot to mention the radio show, Hemp, Lifeline to the Future. I don't know.
I did.
Chris let me use the title of his great book for the radio show. I am with the Hemp Industry Association. I was president for several years, on the board for several years, and I'm also serving on the board of directors of Vote Hemp. And the hemp industry, as was mentioned earlier, started about 15 years ago. The modern hemp industry and the Hemp Industry Association, along with Vote Hemp, are the two nonprofit organizations that fuel the hemp industry. In 1992, I believe it was, the Hemp Industries Association was formed by a bunch of pioneering entrepreneurs in industrial hemp. Donnie Wirtschafter and a few other pioneers of the day brought over the first container of hemp fabric, industrial hemp from China. And at that time, these entrepreneurs got together to form a trade association, which has blossomed over the years into representing several hundred companies, as well as farmers and researchers and authors in the industrial hemp field. And in the year 2000, we formed the second nonprofit organization, industrial hemp, called Vote Hemp. Vote Hemp focuses on the lobbying of the hemp farming situation. You know, hemp is the only plant that we know of that is legal to, in this country, legal to eat, legal to wear, legal to import, export, transport, anything you want to do with it except grow it, all right? So the Hemp Industry Associations, HIA, has all these members who are doing their best to build a hemp industry, but we can't grow the crop in our country. You know, we can manufacture products from the raw materials. Dr. Bronner's is famous for its soap and body care products, and we use hemp oil. Many other companies, Nature's Path and other companies do Tiva, Hemp Oil Canada, Manitoba Harvest, who's got lots of wonderful hemp milk here. You should go check that out over at the booth right behind us. These people all are, the hemp industry, without being allowed to grow the crop, it's like almost impossible to do anything. We've been lucky that Canada legalized it about 10 years ago, so we've been able to import seed and oil products that we could certify as organic. But we can't import the fiber, and we have to get it from, I mean, we can import it, but we can't get it from this continent. We have to go to China or Europe. So in 2000, Vote Hemp was formed to try to lobby for the legalization of growing industrial hemp. Everything else about the plant is legal. And so Vote Hemp has made significant strides, although we still haven't got the seed in the ground legally, except for a brief period of time in Hawaii just before the DEA attacked us. But last year and the year before in California, we did get a hemp farm bill to the governor's desk 2 years in a row. We had legislation passed by the state assembly and the state senate, overwhelmingly passed in 06 and 07, but Arnold vetoed it both times. North Dakota and Vermont have hemp bills that did pass, that the governor did sign.